everyone, and welcome back to the Boredom Boys channel. This is Chris, and in today's Java programming tutorial, the third and final programming tutorial in this series, we're going to be making a program that asks you for a month and a year, and then prints out how many days are in that given month, leap years included. So if you said February 2020, it would spit out 29 days. Now, I recommend that you have a basic understanding of Java or watch my previous video, Java Programming for Beginners, which is the first video in the series. Watch them both if you can, but if you don't know anything about programming or Java, you might want to watch that first video to make sure you have everything downloaded, everything set up, learn a little bit about variables, and just the basics of Eclipse. Now, I'm going to paste in a little syntax at the bottom of the screen down here. I'm just going to make a comment and paste that in. This is going to be using the year-month API, which gets imported from the source code over here on the left. What we're also going to do is we're going to import a scanner like we did last time. So that's going to be import java.util.scanner. What it does is it allows the user to enter something into the console down here and have that assigned to a variable. Great. Let's get started. Now the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a scanner. Now to do this, we're going to type in scanner and then any word here to identify that. It's just going to be input, and then I'm going to have that equal new scanner system.in, and then you have your semicolon. Great. Looks like that worked. Now what we're going to do is we are going to create a new variable. So let's go int, because we want full numbers, and integer is just easy to use. So let's go int month equals input dot next int. There we go. Oops. Okay. Next int. Great. Now what we're going to do is we are going to do that again, but for year. All right. So let's just go down here and say int year equals input dot next int. Great. Now what it's going to do is if we run it, we can type in a first number. So say 9. And then hit enter, and then type in 2015. Great. Nothing happens. Theoretically, those numbers are stored in year and month, but we have nothing to use it in. So let's go add that now. So first, let's add the request so that the system asks for the month and the year. So we're going to do system.out.println, which you learned in the first video. And then we're going to put a string in, so make sure you use quotation marks. Please enter a month 1 through 12. Colon, space, and then we're going to do the same thing down here, system.out.println, and then enter a year. Great. Semicolon and semicolon. Now it's going to ask us for a month 1 through 12, I'll say 7, and a year 2010. Great. Again, doesn't do anything, but we're making progress. All right, I'm going to bunch these together because these have pretty much the same function. And I'm going to add a comment up here that just says creates scanner object, comma, creates month and year variables. All right, awesome. Now let's go down a little bit more. Now what we're going to do is we are going to create an if statement to see if month is less than 1 or greater than 12, because there is no 0th month or 13th month. What you could do with any month that is greater than 12 is use remainder and then use that month. So the 13th month would be January. However, for the purposes of this tutorial, we're not going to do that. All right. So right after int month input, we're going to make the if statement because we could do it after year, but we don't want them to type in the month like say 40, enter the year, and then have it say, no, you can't do this. We want to do that right after they enter month. So let's make an if statement, and we're going to do if month is less than 0, and then, less than 1, or, which is the 2 vertical bars, month is greater than 12, and we're going to open up parentheses, system.out.println, invalid month, and then semicolon, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do return, which will end the program. So let's try that. If we do 20, invalid month, and we can't type anything else because the program has ended. Let's try 0, invalid month. All right, 1. That works, and now we can go ahead. We're not going to put a cap on the year just because any year is possible. You could wonder the date, how many days in 1931, right? That works. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to paste in our year month over here. So let's just put that in. It's year month, and then space year month object exactly as it is here, equals year month of year, comma, month. Now, if your variable for month is something else, for example, if you had it month number right here, then you would have to have month number in here. This will make a new integer called number of days down here. You can call this whatever you want. So you can call this days if you'd like. If that's more simple for you, just call this days. And what it does is it uses the year month object, and it gets the length of the month. This is built into Java, Java 8 and up. If you recently downloaded Eclipse within the past few years, you should have a newer version of Java than Java 8. So you should be fine. When you paste this in or write it in, it might come up with an error. That's because up here, you'll need to type in import java.time.yearmonth. All right. So if it comes up with an error, make sure you type that in. Now what this is going to do is it's going to take our year input, it's going to take our month input, and it's going to get the length of the month for that year, and it's going to put it into the integer days, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to print out days. So system.out.println days. All right. And now if I run it and I say December of 2019, so it returns 31. Let's try it on the leap year, which was this year, February 2020, to 2020, 29. Great. Now we know it works. However, I'm not satisfied with it just saying 29. I would like a little bit more context. Now I could say in the month 2, in the year 2020, that month has 29 days, right? That's pretty easy. However, I don't want to say 2 or 10, right? I want to say in October 2020 or in January 1950. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something called a switch. Now what a switch does is it takes a number or any character, and it goes down a list of possibilities of items, and it chooses the correct one that matches. So let's do that now. All right, so let's create a new switch, and it's going to be days. Sorry, not days. It's going to be month. All right, and we're going to create an opening bracket. Once we have those opening and closing brackets, we are going to initialize a new string. All right, so let's go string, and I'm going to say printed month, and then I'm going to initialize that just by adding a semicolon. I'm not going to add an equals because right now it's just going to be null. It doesn't need to equals anything. When we utilize the switch, it should assign a given month to printed month. All right. You'll see what I mean once we do it. So switch uses cases. All right. So it's going to be case 1 through 12, and it's going to use the integer from month, which is anywhere from 1 to 12 inclusive, and it's going to use that number as the case number. All right. So we're going to type in case 1, and then you're going to put a colon, not a semicolon. All right. And then we're going to use printed month, case sensitive, equals, and then a string. Of course, you need the quotation marks, January. We're going to end that with a semicolon, and then type in break and add another semicolon. Now, what break does is it exits the loop. Now, if I had cases 1 through 12 and I had case 1, it would print month January. It would set printed month to January, and then it would set printed month to February all the way down to December, and it would probably print out December, which we don't want. So what break does is it breaks us out of the loop, so that printed month only equals January and doesn't get set to December. All right. What we're going to do, instead of writing that over and over, we're just going to copy and paste that. So let's just go 1, 2, and then, lost count, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. And then we're going to just set the digits right here, 1 through 12. Great. All right, now we have cases 1 through 12. All we need to do is fix the month names. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add printed month to days. So printed month plus days. Now, what this is going to do is it is going to take whatever we have here, all right, and it's going to paste it down here. So it's going to say November plus, and then how many days are in November. This is not a calendar. Usually what we use in switches is we have a default in case none of the cases are utilized. So default printed month equals invalid month. Okay. Because we already said that month can't be less than 1 and it can't be greater than 12. All right. So let's hit the run button. Let's enter a month, say October. We know there's 31 days in October for every year. 2015, October 31. Awesome. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to add some text to make it seem a little bit more user-friendly. All right, so instead of October 31, because we don't know what that means, right? That can mean the 31st of October. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this, and we are going to add some text. All right, so let's just say there are, and then I'm going to put a space, plus days, plus there are, and then 31 days in, because remember, days is a number, not a string. There are 31 days in plus printed month, all right, plus space, plus year. All right, there are 31 days in October 2017. All right, let's try that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a quick period right there. Great, let's run this. October 10, 2017. There are 31 days in October 2017. Let's run this for the leap year, February 2020. All right, 2020. There are 29 days in February 2020. Let's try 2019. All right, 2019. There are 28 days in February 2019. There we go. We have made a program that asks the user for a month, asks the user for a year, checks if the month is valid, all right, and then using the switch assigns a string to that printed month, and then we use print line to print out this full sentence. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this series. I hope you learned something. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. We would really appreciate your support. Thanks for hanging with us. This is Chris, and I'm out.